Men, I need you to hear me clearly today. This may be one of the most uncomfortable topics I've ever spoken about, but it's also one of the most important. After decades of working with men over 60, I've seen too many struggle in silence with a reality they didn't know was coming. Their manhood, the very part of their identity tied to confidence, intimacy, and masculinity, was literally shrinking. And I don't just mean in the bedroom. I mean physically, anatomically, measurable loss in size, function, and response. Most men are never told why this happens, and worse, they're never told how their daily habits are making it worse. So today, I'm going to uncover the truth. Not myths, not rumors, but real science-backed explanations of the habits that, over time, shrink a man's penis. And if you're over 60, or even approaching it, this is knowledge you need right now. Now, before you feel embarrassed or hopeless, let me reassure you, this isn't a hopeless situation. What I'm about to share isn't meant to scare you, but to give you clarity and control. Because while there are certain natural changes that happen with age, most of the severe shrinkage men experience isn't due to age alone, it's due to specific habits that accelerate damage. These are choices you make every single day without realizing the cost. And the moment you become aware of them, you can change them. That's the power of knowledge, and that's why I'm here. The first destructive habit that shrinks a man's penis is chronic poor circulation caused by inactivity. Think about it, your penis is a vascular organ. It depends entirely on healthy blood vessels and unrestricted blood flow. When you sit for hours every day, when you avoid movement, when your heart never gets pushed into activity, those blood vessels stiffen and weaken. Over years, microvascular damage sets in, and the tissue in your penis receives less and less oxygen. Without oxygen, cells die, collagen breaks down, and the spongy erectile tissue slowly atrophies. It literally shrinks. I've had men tell me they thought they just lost interest in intimacy, but when I examined them, I saw that the problem was structural. The tissue had withered because circulation had been neglected for too long. To put it into perspective, researchers at Harvard Medical School have shown that sedentary men are 50% more likely to develop erectile dysfunction by the age of 60 than active men. That dysfunction isn't just about performance, it's about long-term tissue health. Each time you fail to deliver blood flow, your body lays down microscopic scar tissue. Over decades, that scar tissue stiffens the penis, making it shorter and less elastic. So every time you skip physical activity, you're not just risking your heart, you're risking the size and function of your manhood. The second habit that accelerates shrinkage is unchecked weight gain and visceral fat. Men over 60 often carry excess belly fat, and that fat isn't just sitting there, it's actively producing estrogen. High estrogen, paired with declining testosterone, starves penile tissue of hormonal support. Fat also compresses blood vessels, making circulation worse, and raises inflammation throughout the body. Over time, this hormonal imbalance and vascular stress cause fibrosis in the penis, a hardening of tissue that leads to shortening and loss of girth. I've treated men who told me they used to be bigger, and when we looked at their health records, the timeline of weight gain and penis shrinkage matched perfectly. It wasn't age, it was fat and hormones working against them. And the research is undeniable. A 2012 study in the Journal of Sexual Medicine showed that men with obesity were significantly more likely to experience measurable penile shortening. That's because the fat pad at the base of the penis engulfs part of the shaft, making it appear smaller, while internal fibrosis reduces its ability to expand fully. Men often think they've lost length, when in reality their penis is being buried under layers of belly fat and starved by poor hormonal balance. That's why controlling your weight isn't just about how you look in the mirror, it's about preserving your very identity as a man. The third damaging habit is smoking. If there's one guaranteed way to shrink your penis over time, it's lighting up cigarettes. Smoking damages blood vessels faster than almost anything else. It destroys the endothelial lining that produces nitric oxide, the chemical that allows your penis to become erect. Without nitric oxide, your erections weaken, and without strong erections, the tissue never fully expands. This lack of expansion leads to disuse atrophy, the same way a muscle shrinks if you stop training it. Add to that the long-term vascular scarring from smoking, and you've created a perfect storm for permanent shrinkage. I'll never forget a patient in his early 70s who came to me devastated, not because of lung problems or heart disease, but because his penis had shrunk by nearly an inch compared to his 50s. He was a lifelong smoker, and while he'd accepted the cough and the breathlessness, he never realized the cigarettes were robbing him of his manhood. When we ran vascular imaging, it was clear, the blood vessels were severely narrowed, the tissue was scarred, and much of the damage was irreversible. He quit smoking after that conversation, but the shrinkage had already taken its toll. Another overlooked habit is poor hydration and excessive alcohol. You may not connect water intake to penis size, but hydration plays a massive role in tissue elasticity. When you're dehydrated chronically, your skin loses suppleness, your connective tissue stiffens, and the delicate structures in your penis suffer too. Alcohol compounds the issue by dehydrating you further and lowering testosterone levels. Chronic drinkers often experience not only erectile dysfunction but also long-term tissue shrinkage because the body can't maintain elasticity under constant dehydration and hormonal suppression. Equally destructive is the habit of ignoring prostate health. Men over 60 often develop enlarged prostates, a condition known as benign prostatic hyperplasia. Left untreated, this can compress urinary and sexual pathways, limiting blood flow and nerve signaling to the penis. Over time, this lack of signaling and flow contributes to penile shrinkage. Worse still, men who avoid checkups miss early warnings. By the time they feel symptoms, like frequent nighttime urination, weak flow, or erectile weakness, the damage may already be underway. Protecting your prostate through regular checkups, anti-inflammatory diets, and, if necessary, medical treatment is essential to preserving penile size and function. Another habit that shrinks the penis is chronic stress and poor sleep. When you're under constant stress, your body floods itself with cortisol. High cortisol lowers testosterone, stiffens blood vessels, and creates a hormonal environment hostile to penile tissue. Poor sleep only makes it worse, because testosterone is produced primarily during deep sleep between 2 and 4 a.m. Men who consistently sleep fewer than 6 hours per night often see their testosterone drop by as much as 15% within a week, according to research from the University of Chicago. Low testosterone plus high cortisol equals accelerated shrinkage and loss of function. It's a vicious cycle, and most men never connect their poor sleep and stress habits to the very real changes in their penis. One of the most underestimated habits that shrinks a man's penis is ignoring erections themselves. Erections aren't just for intimacy, they're vital exercise for the tissue. Each erection floods the penis with oxygen-rich blood, keeping the smooth muscle healthy and elastic. When men stop having regular erections, whether from lack of intimacy, lack of desire, or untreated dysfunction, the tissue slowly atrophies. The spongy chambers scar over, become less elastic, and shrink. That's why doctors often prescribe penile rehabilitation after prostate surgery, encouraging men to use vacuum devices or medications, not for sex, but to preserve tissue health. Without erections, shrinkage is inevitable. Now, I want you to pause and think about this. Almost every habit I've described is under your control. Inactivity, weight gain, smoking, poor hydration, ignoring prostate care, stress, poor sleep, lack of erections, these aren't accidents of age. They're choices, routines, and neglect. And the price of those choices is not only a shorter, weaker penis but also the loss of confidence, intimacy, and vitality that comes with it. But here's the hopeful truth, just as these habits shrink you, reversing them can restore you. I've seen men who quit smoking, started exercising daily, improved their diet, and began prioritizing sleep regain significant erectile strength and even recover lost length. While not all damage is reversible, much of it is. Tissue that hasn't scarred permanently can expand again. Blood vessels that were clogged can reopen with better circulation. Testosterone can rise naturally with better sleep and nutrition. It's not about being 25 again, it's about being the strongest version of yourself at 60, 70, or even 80. So here's my challenge to you: take one habit from what I've shared today and change it this week. If you sit all day, stand up and walk every hour. If you smoke, throw away the pack. If you're overweight, start with small dietary changes: cut sugar, eat whole foods, and drink more water. If you're neglecting sleep, set a wind-down routine and aim for 7 hours. Small changes, stacked daily, lead to major preservation of your manhood. Men, your masculinity isn't defined by age. It's defined by how you care for your body. Don't let these habits rob you silently. Don't assume shrinkage is destiny. You have more power than you think, and the sooner you act, the more you preserve. If this video opened your eyes, I encourage you to subscribe to Senior Wellness Journey. Every week, I share strategies to help men over 60 live stronger, healthier, and more confident lives. This is Dr. Samuel Boyd, reminding you, don't wait until it's too late. Take action today, and protect the most important parts of what make you feel like a man.